Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is just a short video to explain that we have changed the 31k rules a little bit. What we've done is we've given Parthia and Scythia 10 cavalry max. Now, to explain why this is, I'm going to take you back a little bit in RTW history. Approximately 17 years ago, most Rome generals were playing for 30k each. But Brotherhood member Stevelongshanks and myself, we experimented with adding an extra 1,000 to make it 31k, and we found adding that extra 1,000 kind of just made your army just right, if you see what I mean. So in those days I used to host a heck of a lot of battles, and so I started to host our battles at 31k. And of course, a lot of people that were used to playing at 30k were saying, why are you hosting at 31k? You know, but then as they got used to it, they found that that extra 1,000 really did help to make their army just right. So it was accepted. The next thing I know, there was loads of people hosting 31k on Rome Total War, and people really liked it. The problem was, to get 31k accepted, because most people played with Rome in those days, we had to make the rules Rome friendly. And one of the biggest things that stopped a lot of factions joining our battles was the 6 cavalry max. As soon as we brought in 6 cavalry max, that kind of precluded Scythia and Parthia, if you like, from our battles, because both their infantries are so poor, no matter what upgrades you put on them. Obviously, you know, their cavalry is their strength, but with a 6 cavalry max, both Parthia and Scythia just, you know, they just couldn't really cut it on the 31k battlefield. I mean, I'd ask all of you that have played 31k, how many times have you seen Parthia or Scythia on the 31k battlefield? I would suggest it would be very rarely. So last weekend, the Brotherhood clan, our Brotherhood clan, did an experiment on Rome Total War all weekend on giving Parthia and Scythia 10 cavalry max. We've also brought out a rule 6 foot archers max, and that is across the board. We were finding that our battles were becoming almost like archer fests. So we've got, so the rule across the board is 6 foot archers max, but for Parthia and Scythia, 10 cavalry max. And as I say, last weekend we experimented with these new rules, and it seemed to work out quite well. It you know, it really did. Everybody, you know, people were enjoying taking Parthia and Scythia. Of course, because we've been used to handling just 6 cavalry over the last 17 years, getting used to handling 10 cavalry is going to take a bit of time. You know, you're going to need tactics, new strategy to handle 10 cavalry. So, and of course, the infantry, you know, your armies, we're going to have to look at different army builds to kind of counter that, those new cavalry as well. So here we're going to have a look at the army builds. There, if you notice here, we're adding the 31k, and anywhere we're going to put Parthia and Scythia there. And then we're going to have a look at the armies here of Parthia. As we know, they're Eastern infantry here, sometimes known as the pajama people, because players used to think they looked like they just got out of bed with their pajamas on, grabbed a shield and a spear and went into battle. But if you look at their specs, fully upgraded, can you see 9 attack, 16 defense, 1 charge? Very poor infantry. Those of you that have played with them will know how bad they are. In fact, old school RTW players might remember that we preferred the hillmen to the pajama people, to the Eastern infantry. If those of you watching this old school would remember that, we preferred hillmen seemed to do better on the battlefield than those Eastern infantry. But, you know, in general, their infantry were just pretty poor. You know, I mean, they just couldn't cut it on the 31k battlefield. So here's a couple of armies that I've made here, just experimental armies. And there, where you can see there that I've got mixed upgrades on my cavalry there. You'll see I've got a general, and the general unit there is the armored Eastern general there. And if you notice there, I've got I think most of the units are fully upgraded there, but some of them have just got 2 upgrades on. Can you see 13 attack, 29 defense, and a massive 9 charge there? And there you are, you got 6 reasonable archers. I know their archers are pretty rubbish anyway, but I mean, you could bring 6 archers if you want and still have reasonably upgraded. There you are, you could put, I've still got a bit of money left if you look up there. Like, you could put a stripe maybe on a couple of the archers there. There you go. So there you go. So you could have 10 well upgraded cataphracts there, and 6 archers. You could bring that army if you wanted to. As I say, this is just experimental, or you could have 10 maxed units or 10 maxed cataphracts there, and just the Eastern General with 1 stripe on, but all the cataphracts maximum upgraded, and just 3 archers. I mean, as I say, this is, we've only, you were only experimenting last weekend, so these are just kind of like experimental armies that I've been looking at with Parthia, with the 10 cavalry max. So, you know, that's the type of army you could bring. And then look at Scythia here. And I've just got 1 experimental army that I've made there. And if you notice there, I've got 9 fully upgraded headhunting maidens, and of course a barbarian chosen warlord general with his 2 hit points there. I mean, a lot of people might bring 10 headhunting maidens with their effective against armor axes, you know, which makes them cavalry on cavalry probably the best cavalry in the game. But that barbarian chosen warlord, look, he's got a 20 defense, 2 hit points there, so hopefully he'd last longer in battle than a headhunting maiden. But if you look at them, you can see 15 attack, 17 defense, and a big 8 charge bonus as well. And as I say, look at the archers, these elite archers. So you could bring 10 fully upgraded cavalry and really good chosen archers. Look, 15 attack, is that 13 missile, 15 defense there as well. Look. I mean, these are really elite. If you read up the writing on them, these are elite archers and fully upgraded cavalry there. I mean, don't forget these headhunting maidens. As I say, cavalry versus cavalry, possibly the best cavalry in the game. And so, you know, it really does, bringing these type of new armies really does add a new dynamic to our battles. And as I say, those elite archers, or those 6 elite archers, pretty good there. And as I say, if you look at these experimental armies that I've made, just to show you here what we could to bring to the battlefield with Parthia and Scythia. And of course, like I said earlier, with our Roman army builds, we're going to have to start looking at different army builds, maybe different battle formations, to kind of try and counter all this cavalry coming in to the 31k battlefield. Well, I think that's good. It's kind of, if you like, it's like updating the 31k rules. And to be honest with you, we've had the same 31k rules, as I said, for 17 years. So I think it's time, you know, to change things up a little bit. Now here you can see that both Seleucid and Armenia, we know that they've got heavy cavalry, okay, but they've also got good infantry. You got the Silver Shield Legionnaires and Silver Shield Pikes. So you see Seleucid on the 31k battlefield regularly anyway, because they've got good infantry. Armenia, if you look at their solid spearmen, their heavy spearmen, and their legionnaires, that's pretty good infantry, as well as they've got their heavy cavalry as well. So we didn't think we needed to, you know, increase cavalry for those 2 factions, because they've got good infantry. But poor old Parthia and poor old Scythia for the last 17 years have been, you know, almost excluded from 31k battlefield just because their infantry was so poor. So yeah, that's what, to just let you know. So I just wanted to let you all know that for our 31k battles, it's 10 cavalry max for Parthia, 10 cavalry max for Scythia, and 6 full archers max across the board. Be interested to see what you think.